In my review of the Rival 100, I said it was good, not great. The Rival 110 is basically the same, but it now has a very good sensor, so it could be a really good option. To start, let's talk about the differences between the two, the 100 and 110. The 110 is going to be the one that's plugged in, with the light on. A quick tour shows the shape is the same. They've just changed the scroll wheel pattern a little, the DPI button, the cable, and some of the colouring, and the materials are slightly different too. The Rival 100 is rubberized and smooth on top. This new material on the 110 feels like it's slightly rubberized plastic and has a bit of texture to it. The sides are the same textured plastic, which feel okay, nothing special. They seemed okay for gripping it, and looking closer we can see some subtle curves for comfort, and also to help with the grip. This also means there is plenty of room for your fingers. It's a safe shape. And if we look at the base, we can see it flares out at the back on each side. It's an ambidextrous design, but with buttons on the left only. On the 100, the mouse feet felt kinda scratchy and loud. I'm happy to say the new ones are smooth and good. Unfortunately, no real comfort grooves in the buttons. They feel a bit flat to me. Here's a look from the front, to show they're actually curved down toward the sides. From the side, the buttons are fairly low, but so is the mouse at about 3.5 centimeters high, with a flat area for the hump in the middle. So even though it's low, I feel like I can palm grip it. Both Rival 100 seem to weigh about 90 grams each, and it feels fairly well balanced, although the sensor has moved back a bit, so it's just behind the balance point. That didn't seem to cause any issues for me in game. This is what it looks like next to the Nixius Revel, and the Sensei and Rival 310. I'd call this a medium mouse while the others are medium large. The grip width is about 5.8 centimeters, and the length is about 11.9. So a basic recommendation, I'd say palm grip maybe up to 18.5 centimeters, claw grip up to 20, and fingertip possibly 17.5 to 21. So ideally, I think it would suit fingertip grip, and hands that are about 19 by 9.7 centimeters. As for the buttons, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'd say they feel a bit dull, but with a snap to them. Here's a listen. So they have a bit of tension to them, which should prevent accidental clicks. They're very similar to the Rival 100, no problem in first-person shooters. Mouse 3 also has a fair bit of tension. It's not easy to press in, and very low too. And the wheel has some tension on the steps, but feels a bit loose. The side buttons remain plasticky and sharp. I don't really like the shape or the feel, but they work fine. The travel on them isn't too bad either. As for latency, they feel in line with the G703 and G903, so no problems there. They're very low latency, and I could use multiple buttons together. When tapping and shaking it, I only hear a slight rattle, and that's from the wheel, so overall, it seems solid. The cable is fairly smooth and flexible, and about 2 meters long, and it was fine in game too. The sensor is a TrueMove 1 optical, and of course it has no problem rocket jumping. I can't make it spin out moving it as fast as I can, and surprisingly, even in the tilt slam test, I couldn't get it to lose track either, which is excellent. Zooming in for the sniper test, it tracks pixel by pixel, and it does it smoothly. There's no acceleration that I can find, and the lift-off distance varies. It's about 2 DVDs on a coloured soft pad, almost 1 DVD on a black hard pad, and about 2 DVDs on a black cloth pad, so that's fairly high, but it seemed okay to me, and the sensor does feel responsive. In the line test against the G703 using the 3366, it looks basically the same, other than the liftoff movement from the higher liftoff distance. So by my testing, that's an excellent performance. Happy to use it in competitive gaming. In the software, you can change the buttons to keyboard and macro. Here's a look at the macro editor. Then it has the usual media, mouse and other functions. The CPI ranges from 200 to 7200, and that's in increments of 100. So unlike the Rival 100, you can use 400, 800 and 1600 CPI. Then the usual other options are below. It's an RGB mouse, so you can set it up with the colors and cycles you like. The transitions aren't completely smooth, but they're still pretty good, and you should be able to store profiles with the onboard memory. To conclude, if you're using the Rival 100 but thinking of upgrading to the Rival 110, the sensor is enough to justify that purchase. It should perform like a top mouse. It's just the quality of the materials, the buttons, and the shape of the buttons that's letting this one down a bit. For a budget option, it's really good. I felt in control and was able to play at a high level, but if you want to spend more, you could get some more comfort and better quality in some respects. For those wondering if you should buy the Rival 110, the Sensei 310 or the Nixius Revel, all three are very good mice, but it really depends on size. The Rival 110 is the smallest of the three, so that suits me best. Even though the quality is better on the Sensei, I'd say size is more important. The shapes are quite similar though, so I hope that helps. Special thanks to SteelSeries for sending this out for a review, and if you want to help support the channel, I'll leave the usual links in the description. Subscribe, like and share this video, and I'll catch you in the next.